once you start speaking, the problems start coming. It's all about your faith. You have to fight night and day. You have to keep seeing beyond the people fighting you, seeing beyond the circumstances, seeing beyond the situations and the scenarios. You have to understand that somebody is trying to get my faith. You see, the devil doesn't care what happens to you. You know, he doesn't care if you're a billionaire and lose your faith. If that's what rocks your boat, he will give you the money. You can see the lives of other people. He doesn't care if you're poor. If your poverty will remove your faith, he will walk and walk and walk it to just get you to the point where you can act it. And poverty spirit and all of those spirits that hover around you, they're not necessarily interested in, okay, or sickness, you're sick and no, you go to the hospital. All of those things are just to get your faith. It is all about your faith. That is why the Bible says you should fight the good fight. Paul said, fight the good fight of faith. He says, I have fought the fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith. Now is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give unto me. And not only me, but to those who long for his appearance. He says, above all, when talking about the armor of God, above all. I know I talked about helmet, I know I talked about sword, I know I talked about your feet, I know I talked about your breastplate, but above all, take on the shield of faith, with which you may be able to quench the fiery darts of the enemy. It is all about your faith. Jude says, I write this to you that you may earnestly contend for the faith. Haven't you noticed that sometimes you just don't feel it? You know what I mean? You just don't feel it. Sometimes you feel like you're invisible, like you're going to make it in life. I'm going to explode. This world doesn't know what is about to hit them. I am filled with potential. I am filled with greatness. And all of a sudden, one day you just remember that I used to talk like that, right? But I wonder what happened. If you can analyze, they try to remind you after these things that your friend just got married and your other guy just finished his master's and the other one got a job in NNPC and that one got a scholarship, a government scholarship with a job waiting for her when she comes back to London. And you get hearing unnecessary messages that if you sit down, this one comes from Kaduna, the other one comes from Sokoto, and then your neighbor talks about her daughter who just finished her PhD, and you're wondering, this is all about your faith. You just have to remind yourself as they give you news, you to give them news that the thoughts of God towards me are not of evil, but are of good, and to give me a future and a hope. You have to remind yourself that there is more to me than Mr. Christ is in me, the hope of glory. You have to remind yourself sometimes that greater is he that is in me than he that's in the world. Sometimes you need to gossip back to yourself and tell them that I shall not want